So you've decided that you're going to sell your house, and right away you have two questions. Number one, how can I sell it for the best price? And number two, how can I sell it in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress? And this week I'm here to help you with just that, coming right up. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Mitchell Goulding here with Exit Realty Liftlock Brokerage here in the fantastic city of Peterborough, and this is your Peterborough Realtor. On this channel, we're talking everything Peterborough real estate, market updates, buyer and seller advice, homeowner advice, as well as community features. If this is something that may interest you, or you think I may be able to bring you some information and value, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Hit the alarm button as well so that you are notified every time I come out with a new video each week. Now, in addition to the information that I'll be talking about in this video, I'm also going to provide a link down in the description to my seller's guide. So we'll be it will add on what we talk about here in the video today. So at any time, if you want to go ahead and click that link, it'll take you to a free download, and you can go ahead and pick that up, and it'll just kind of build on the foundation that we go through in today's video. Alright, everyone, so today we're going to talk about what happens when you decide you're going to sell your home. There are really two questions that generally pop in your mind. The first question is, how can I sell my home for the most amount of money? And the second question is, how can I sell it in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress? And today we're going to go over exactly how you do that, give you some tips and some information so that you can put yourself in the best position to get there. So the first thing we're going to talk about is price, because it is by far the most important. If you do not get the price right, nothing else matters. You can have a great marketing plan and execute it to perfection. Your home can show fantastic. It can be the nicest house on the block, and it will not matter. If you do not get that price right off the bat, it is not going to sell, and it is definitely not going to sell in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress. Now, when it comes to pricing your home and putting it on the market, there are really four different ways or four different strategies that you can go about doing this. The first pricing strategy is to put it on market for well below value. Obviously, we're not going to talk about that a lot right now because the goal of this video is to get you the most amount of money for your home in the least amount of time. And by putting it on the market for well below market value, you are unlikely to get the kind of money out of your home that you deserve. So we're just going to go ahead and skip that and go to number two. Pricing strategy number two is to put it on the market for a little bit below market value. So what this does is that it should generate more interest. You know, buyers like a deal. So if they see a home that they feel is priced a little bit lower and they're getting good value for their money, they are more likely to be interested. Now, when you do this, really the goal is that you're trying to elicit multiple offers. So you're hoping multiple buyers come through and they are very interested, and then they get into a competing offer situation. When that happens, people tend to offer a little bit higher than what you're asking for. If you're lucky, maybe they even ask well above what you're asking for, and then you end up netting a little bit above market value. But this strategy is really to elicit multiple offers from buyers, and so that you have offers that you can choose from, so that you can really maximize the return of your home sale. So pricing strategy number three is to list your home for as close to full market value as you can. Really making sure that you get the sale price right. You're going to have to go through comparative market analysis with your real estate agent and market trends to make sure that you are not overpricing it in this instance. But this is a viable option as well. So really you're putting it out there for what it's worth, and then you're going to go from there. You may not generate the same amount of interested buyers because buyers are always looking for a deal. But it's a way of doing it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with going this route. And pricing strategy number four, it really isn't a pricing strategy at all, and that is overpricing. I won't go into depth about why this is such a bad idea, but if you do this, you're definitely not going to sell your home in the least amount of time. Your home is likely to sit on the market for a long time, become market stale. You'll probably go through a long spell of not any showings, and in the end you're probably going to have to go through multiple price reductions to get your home sold, and you'll likely end up having to sell for below market value because that is a typical consequence of overpricing and having your home become market stale. So I can't stress enough, stay away from overpricing, especially if you want the most amount of money in the least amount of time. Okay, so now that we've had the discussion about pricing and you do realize how important it is to getting your home sold, let's move on to the next thing, and that is going to be marketing. This really is kind of a 1A and a 1B with pricing, because if you price your home well but don't market it well, you're not going to get as many people as you can see your home, and you're not going to drive that traffic, which is going to drive the price up and get your home sold as quickly as possible. So you really have to make sure that you have a strategic online marketing plan. With COVID and the pandemic, everything has really pushed itself to online heavy. It was going in that direction anyway, but now more than ever, your home's first impression for almost everybody is going to be online in one form or another. So because online views are so important, making sure that your pictures and your video are absolutely fantastic. Please use professional photography and video. This is not an area that you want to skimp in. You want to make sure that that first impression, the first images that people are seeing of your home are of the best quality they can possibly be. It's really going to make your home stand out, especially against other homes for sale that maybe don't go that extra mile and don't make sure that those images are the best quality possible. Now, one thing you can do to help ensure that your home is showing its best and that those pictures look its best would be home staging. So as a value-added service to my clients, I do offer home staging consultations where I have a professional home stager come in, tour your home, and make recommendations to help you arrange your home or decorate in a way that really maximizes its potential. So once you do this, those pictures are really going to pop. They're really going to show the best that they can, and they're really going to boost your home's online presence once you do get those pictures online. So once those pictures are done and they're great, then you have to get them online. So every home that is listed with a licensed real estate agent through the MLS, it's going to go on Realtor.ca. So you're going to see those pictures on the most popular website for home searches right now. But you really need to go further than that. You really need to make sure that you have an online marketing strategy that goes beyond just Realtor.ca. So for my clients, I have a very targeted and strategic social media advertising campaign that I do. If anybody wants to get in touch with me and talk to me about what I do and how I approach it, I'm always ready to talk about that. I'm always willing to help people and have that discussion, so please reach out. But this is something else that I also really need to emphasize, is that you have to make sure that your marketing plan and your marketing execution is on point. Without going that extra mile, without making sure that the views are as good as they can possibly be, you're really not going to get the traffic and you're really not going to get the interest needed to help your home sell for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. So this is really a discussion that you need to have with your real estate agent to make sure that they have that marketing plan in place, and make sure that before you actually go to market that you have an idea in mind and you have a vision of how it's going to go, and make sure it does get executed. So now that we've got pricing and marketing out of the way, they really are the most important. But there are some things that you can do as a homeowner to help your home show the best that it can and to really help the whole selling process go as smoothly as possible. Make sure you're boosting your home's curb appeal. You want to make sure that that first impression people get is as good as it can possibly be. So that means, mowing your lawn. If you have gardens, making sure that they are weed free and look nice. Maybe resealing your paved driveway if it's looking a little bit tired. Freshening up the paint, washing windows, painting window shutters, that kind of thing. You really want to make sure that first impression is great. You don't want anybody having confirmation bias when they walk through your home, meaning you don't want people looking for negatives inside because they saw something negative outside. That's really going to put a damper on the entire showing, and it's going to be less likely that they are interested once they have gone through your home. The second thing that you can do is look after any deferred maintenance. So this should really be done before the actual listing goes live, and probably before pictures as well. But making sure you look after the little things that maybe you've pushed off to the side because it wasn't critical maintenance. Things like drywall cracks or nail pops, maybe some paint that needs to be updated inside, changing light bulbs, fixing baseboards, fixing outlet covers, that kind of thing. Can really go a long way in making sure that your home is showing the best that it can anytime a buyer goes through, and it's going to help you maximize the return on your sale. The third thing that you can do, and it's really essential, is to declutter and depersonalize. So decluttering is obvious. It's just making sure that your home is neat and tidy. You don't want people thinking that there is a storage issue in your home with so much stuff being out and visible. People might think that you don't have storage and closet space. Especially for repeat buyers or experienced buyers, that can be a red flag. As I have learned in the past, the first house that I bought had very little storage, and it became an issue, and it wasn't something I knew to look out for. So avoid giving off that impression as well. Depersonalizing is really just making sure that you take down family photos, of yourself, your kids, your parents, your grandparents, aunts and uncles, that kind of thing. Because buying a home really is an emotional thing. People are always trying to picture their family in the home and enjoying it, and it makes it harder for them to do that if they see pictures of you and your family all over the place. So Anytime there's a showing and really through the whole listing process, make sure that your home is depersonalized. And finally, we have always be show ready and let the light in. So always be show ready is just what it says. Always be ready to have your home be shown. If a buyer wants to see your home in a short notice, say in 30 minutes, you want your house to be clean and ready to go. You don't want to have to push that viewing back or cancel altogether because you might miss out on a buyer opportunity. So just keeping things tidy, making sure everything's in order, dusting, cleaning, making sure your dishes are done, that kind of thing. And every time you do have a showing, when you do leave your property, you want to make sure that you are letting the light in. So you want to open doors, open windows, turn on lights, open blinds, that kind of thing. You want to make sure that your home is viewing as light and airy and open as possible. Nobody likes the idea of being in a home that is dark and feels cramped. It doesn't set the kind of mood that you want buyers to have when going through your house. So help them out a little bit and make sure that as soon as they walk in, it is light and open and airy. So I hope that all of you potential home sellers out there got some valuable information, got some tips that maybe are going to help you when it comes to selling your property and what you should look out for, and maybe discussions that you should be having with your real estate agent. If anybody wants to call me and discuss, I can go over how I would price their home, what kind of pricing strategy I would employ, and the way that I would market their home as well to really make sure that it gets viewed as much as possible. My contact information is always down in the description, so please feel free to reach out. I would be more than happy to talk with you. And like I said, in addition to the information I gave in the video, I have put a link in the description to my free home seller's guide. So it will kind of build on what we've talked about here, goes into a little more depth and some things that you can do to prepare for the process, and into some more detail about things you can expect. I even go over some tips if you decide to try and sell it on your own. So if that's a route that you are planning on trying to go, then there should be some valuable information and some tips in there for you as well. And again, if you did find this video helpful and you think that my future content will help you as well, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell notification as well so that you know each time I go up with a new video each week, and I'll see you next time.